Everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and we are here for the very last day of Green World. This is the last leg of our journey where we wrap the entire piece up together. It's going to come together faster than you might think, and by the end of this hill, you're going to be like, grass. I'm so ready for all the blades of grass, the many, many blades. We were a little late today. I don't know what it's like where you are, but this was for where we are the first day of school, and our kids are doing part-time. They do the 2 days on and 3 days. And so it was a mixed bag experience. And I have to say, like, I wonder if we all are aware of how hard this is on kids and on young people. My daughter's so concerned that this is how life is going to be forever.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to put a wish on this canvas, but I'm going to just etherically wish that this isn't how it is forever. Because this doesn't seem like... This doesn't seem like a lot of fun, and that we come up as a species with a better solution to pandemics than we currently have for ourselves and for you and for your kids as well. I certainly told my daughter I didn't think we would have any idea where this was going to be going, like that the world had changed for sure, but it was like Y2K. Maybe just a computer patch was necessary and everything didn't have to end. So fingers crossed, that's my wish. Better results. All right, I'm kind of ready to, today is my pup daughter 17th birthday, so you got some extra spoiling today. You gotta love that. Green World, part 5. I love spoiling the dogs. It's super fun. So this is gonna be a fun day. We're just nearly there. At this point, you can kind of see what's happening with the painting. I'm gonna take my phthalo green and my Mars black. And the reason for that is I want to create a very deep value to build this grass surface off of. You know, I'm putting together, and it's a little bit off. It'll be released in the future, this Grass Quest. And first I got to get Fan Quest released, but Grass Quest had come out while working on it. And one of the things that I came to after painting every conceivable type of grass in every condition is that that it was as important to get these deep values between the blades of grass and the shadows where it was shaded as much as it was to get the highlight, you know, and that you really had to find a full range almost to create that texture and density that you would want. So I'm painting this whole thing in and covering the blue. The blue is a really nice surface because as you may have noticed, phthalo greens and phthalo blues and browns and yellows, landscaping colors, are all pretty transparent. So when a color naturally has kind of a glazed personality, picking a harmony that's a color that's adjacent on the color wheel always makes a nice ground to build up on. So you can do like any kind of brown or green or blue, and it will build up a lovely world. I picked blue for this because there was so much bright blue, and I wanted a very bright sky to capture the day. I painted that hill in. Arbite came in. It's been hard to adjust for online for teens that are homeschooling. I think it is too. I grabbed a little bit of yellow to add to that green mixture, and I am doing upward flicking strokes. This is again with the Raphael brush, which I think was a number 6. I may have it here, but then again, I got painting today again and got washing. Nope, that's a 10. I would pull it up and hold it up, but I think I washed it. I washed it, guys. But what you're looking for is a brush with a nice sharp edge that gives you a clean upward flick. You can see that I'm adding yellow into that green. There isn't really any white into that mixture. And I'm trying to make sure everything I'm doing here, this is that filbert. I do think it's like a 6. I'm going to look for it, see. Because I believe it's definitely, I guess it's the 6 Textura. Here we go. So what I would say is I'm trying to make sure that I don't have a harsh, dark line. And I'm taking this brush and pushing things up. It is this one. It is the number 6 Raphael Textura. And it's very stiff. You want something stiff. You want something with a sharp edge that'll give you a fine line. You could do an angle brush here just as easily. And I'm just flicking upward and making sure that I've got a line. And by putting that row of kind of like thicker paint down, it let me come back through with the brush and kind of create that upward flick. Very important. Otherwise, I'll end up having a weird kind of like line. I'm just saying, flick it. Sometimes you got to flick it. Sometimes you got to flick it, John.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure I didn't swallow something crazy because it felt like I swallowed something crazy. I'm coming back with maybe a darker green value. And again, we're talking about those values, how light or dark something is, and the way it goes together. Next month for our patron, Still Life, I think the plan is that we'll be seeing you guys live. You can have both angles on the camera.
Yeah, and I can pre-record and switch between the two.
Oh, can you? Yeah, so we'll do one of those, but we want you to have both angles on the camera so you can see the brush work happening at the same time. I love the overhead view because you can really see the piece come together, but it's a little frustrating to try to capture how the brush is engaging the surface. Lots more yellow in there, taking that phthalo green and popping it up. You'll notice in this piece, I didn't really go through and mix greens with my ultramarine or my cerulean or my phthalo. I really stayed with the phthalo green and not getting too much into the phthalo blue to create the green space. I could have done it with the phthalo blue, but I find there's so many mixes as it is. It was like sort of okay just to keep it in a more limited palette. I am going through, this is a lot of this upward brushing. And this is just, this is like entry level 1 into fussy grass blade painting. It gets fussier than this, like much fussier. Like there is a space in grass world where you just paint on this for 6 hours.
Sure.
Very slowly, blade by blade, each dewdrop represented. And I don't know. I find that other than the positive feedback you get from people when you do this, and you do get very positive feedback, I find like subjectively it doesn't really add anything to the painting. And I think what it is that I think the painting should be more than a photograph. I'm continuing to flick upward with my different greens. But I just feel like the painting should be more than a photograph. Like I feel like we should understand that it's a painting and that this is both an emotional capture of a space and a representational capture of a space. So there's nothing wrong with being more realistic. I just think that sometimes it's easy to lean into realism for that positive feedback without stepping there and going, did this add something to the painting? And I don't really feel like if we'd spent 6 hours on this forward hill that the painting would have been substantively better for its purpose, right? Because it's supposed to capture how we feel about this type of landscape and be beautiful and representative, but not, you know, too much. Now, I have decided that I cannot do micro mixes anymore. So I've gotten my palette knife engaged, and you can see my cad red up at the top that we had from earlier. So if you're wondering what that color is going off the canvas, that's what's happening. Sometimes creating a homogeneous mix gives you a nice place to start. You can then, you know, also keep that paint fresher. I'm now into my #1 detail, Art Sherpa detail brush. Straight up, the details in my line are some spectacular detail brushes. We have the very economical detail brushes because we wanted to have a pack of economy brushes that people could buy. But also we did some brushes in the Art Sherpa line, and these were part of that. There's my family. Oh, no, it's okay. Just let her know. It's all right. Everybody knows.
She's walking the dog.
Yeah, she's walking the dog. Dogs need walking. We all get it. Dogs need walking. I work from home. Do you work from home now too? I'm just doing upward grass strokes and things, you know, and make sure there's no bear. I'm a little nervous when the kids walk the dogs now. I don't feel confident in it. And so I am doing very individualistic grass strokes. Art by Kim Ann says, I think thinking cat's tongue would be good to use as well, right? Yes, it would be. And then Patty Hoffman finished your mom's song with flick it good. I knew that was coming predictably. I guess I'm psychic. I'm now adding some white to my light green mix which remember I lightened with that yellow first. So when I add the white to it, it lightens the value without really changing that hue. And you stay green and you don't go to the mint. Then your mom has gone on, John, saying, flick it, you have to flick it. They're having their own night, right?
Must be a Devo derivative.
Did you see that roll that I did there with the brush? I rolled into the palette and I pulled the paint out. I often do this. This keeps the paint from creeping up the detail brush, because where detail brushes get ruined is when paint gets in the ferrule. That's what blows them out. Whether it's an inexpensive brush or a really good detail brush, where your brush will get blown out, which is where all the little filaments lose shape and you can't get them to reshape even with normal reshaping techniques. That's what's happening. I mean, there's a way to get the detail brush back, but it's a whole fussy business. I'll have to show the patrons that sometime with like the pin in the... You can recover nearly any brush. I have a technique. So I'm just coming through and adding highlights through here. Oh, hi, Trisha. And I'm just coming through and adding these bright green highlights. And again, we want spaces of shadow and spaces of light, because, you know, grass, solid object, not transparent, is going to cast shadows. It's going to have ranges of shadow. And then the light will come through the blades. And while it's not transparent, it's like your skin. It's like when you put a flashlight through your skin, it's not so opaque that light can't impact it. So either by reflection or by the thinness of the grass membrane, you will see those highlights. And it's about playing those shadows that are cast by the solid object that exists known as a hologram. And then also by the fact that the light will, you know, hit the top of the grass and lighten it, or even reflect through it and lighten it. So playing with those. And then I'm like, can you see where I was like, 6 hours of this would not substantially improve the painting? But you could do it. You could do it. I know artists that do that. They really slow down and they're like, I'm going to paint every blade of grass. And I think if you were talking about a calming process, if you're just trying to calm yourself, which I don't know about you guys, but John and I are certainly finding, and we're having to find more and more tool sets to calm ourselves. I think that slowing down and painting each individual blade of grass and just breathing through it would be a very calming process.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, calming grass, calming grass, the calm grass that we paint. I'm excited about next month, though. I think it's going to be a beautiful still life. You know, I know some of you guys will be seeing these release again to the next tier down patronage over next month when you guys get the new ones. So, you know, those will be there available for y'all to watch. We may be relocating where these are housed, and I'll make sure that that's in your dashboard and you should notice it. And we're probably going to start hosting them from the retreat, the Art Sherpa retreat. If you haven't subscribed to that, you can go by and subscribe to it, though you don't have to be subscribed to get access to the link. This is just something we're doing as we move to the new website. This is me thinking a very long time about how many more blades of grass do I want, and then deciding, oh, I want all the blades of grass. Let's just keep going. So, you know, doing that, coming upward, and just enjoying that process as we go. And upward blades of grass. It's like watching grass grow, John. This section of the video is literally like watching the grass grow, which honestly right now I have been doing a lot of.
I don't know if I can skim ahead here.
No.
If you're just grassing for...
We're just grassing to... Look, this is our time together. Everybody's visiting and they're watching. We got 15 people having a relaxing day after...
30 minutes of grassing.
Is it 30? 30,
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, aren't you glad I didn't do 6? If you're glad I didn't do 6, give this video a thumb up. If you're glad it wasn't 6 hours. But you can see I'm just coming through with that very light value of green I mixed with the palette knife. If you mix your green with the palette knife, and actually you can go through and mix 5 or 6 values of your greens ahead of time, and then you're not having to spend time doing little micro mixes as you go. Right? And that can be very much a relief. I remember this being very calming. Like I almost didn't notice how long this part of the painting took. Just this little upward stroke. And the other thing is pay attention. We don't really see it within the brush, but notice how some of the strokes are long, some of them are short, some kind of arc to the right and some kind of arc to the left. The mental state that I like to be in when I'm painting grass, I'm getting a dark value and coming back and adding some deep dark values between the blades of grass to demonstrate the shadows to help those light blades of grass really pop. The mental state that I'm in when I paint grass is I literally envision the grass and then I try to hear the wind and I imagine the wind hitting the grass and blowing through that and how it would change the color and the way the grass bends over and reflects. And because I probably spent a lot of time staring at a field of grass going, where do I paint that? So I spend time doing that. Trish Woods says, what is the Art Sherpa retreat you're talking about? I'll pop it in the group, Trisha. It is a second channel we made. We thought we were going to make a music channel. It was going to be live 24 hours a day with art and music. Was the idea originally, wasn't it? Yep. And then we're just really busy people, and so we didn't.
We couldn't make those.
We just didn't have enough time to consistently make those videos as fun as they were. And we like making them. We'll probably make them again, but not for a whole second dedicated channel.
Yeah.
So the retreat might be a good space to kind of create as a patron zone, kind of dedicated to the patrons. And that way you guys have your own zone that you can be in. We're thinking there may be some benefit for you for that. So we're looking at that. And if that ends up going, then we'll let you know. You don't have to be subscribed though. Because it's just, we're going to give you guys the unlisted links and then you'll be able to find that.
Yeah, so we'll just give you the links and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Like for the watercolor that we're doing tomorrow night for the patrons, and that's all the patrons, that'll just go into group. The link, and we may stream that from the retreat. We may not because we haven't set it up. I don't know, but we'll give you the link. All you need is the link. I'm kidding. I got my number 6 textura back, which is that really sharp right, and I went back into that bright green. And now I'm making the grass strokes that are up close. When the grass strokes are closer, they'll be longer, they'll be bolder, and that will help create that object placement in the surface that makes them feel like they're closer to us. When you diminish a brush stroke or you diminish it and take it out of focus or desaturate it by removing the brightness, it pushes it back into the canvas. But if you strengthen the stroke, then you brighten it and you make it a stronger, bolder stroke, as you can see, it pulls that closer to you and gives the feeling of distance in your surface.
Mm-hmm.
So, Donna, hi Donna. And Trisha likes the idea of having their own zone. Yeah, I just think, their own zone. Mm-hmm. Their own zone. As long as YouTube hasn't done some crazy thing in the dashboards that we're not aware of yet to smaller channels. Sometimes YouTube does terrible things to smaller channels. And we're only aware of it because we have this channel that we're like, what did YouTube do to little creators? Oh my gosh, how are they ever supposed to make it? I don't know how they ever make it now. Really glad we got into the platform when we did, aren't you, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll have to look and make sure there isn't some unexpected new fresh nonsense from YouTube corporate. If there is, we will come up with another solution. But your content will always stream to you. Now, upward strokes. Donna Cox says, well, if it's any consolation, I was having coffee with the husband who just came home. Of course, have coffee with your husband who just came home. I mean, we love you and we're always happy to see you, Donna. But of course, have coffee with your husband who just came home. Art will wait. It will be here. Your easel will be there when you are free. This is me saying, literally not taking my own advice. Literally paint no matter what's going on. I am taking a dark value and again, deepening. See how that goes through, and I enforce those shadows. I make them stronger and then come back with the highlights. And, these strokes are wet into wet in some spaces. So then the undercolor kind of alters them as well as they take strokes through there. And notice I'm leaving open patches for those shadows. And everybody brought coffee and donuts. Thank you for the donuts, Donna, because you were late. So you got to bring the donuts. You're late, bring coffee and donuts for the Sherpa. Even though they're emoji donuts, I like it. It makes me very happy when people do that. It does. It's a weird thing, but I like it. I communicate with emojis. I don't know why. So upward strokes. Just going upward, upward, upward. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking really good. Just stronger up front. You know, we're kind of in a few color mixes. So there isn't really a lot to describe as you go, right? Other than the functionality of how the painting goes together back into the dark color. Because what do we need? Shadow. The shadow. No one knows what the shadow grass. Except you, because you painted. You know what the shadow grass knows. You can decide when it knows. Anne says her husband told her to go away. He's watching a comedy show and laughing way too loud. I love comedy. So much fun. Upward strokes, deepening, getting those shadows in there. Shade the grass. Be shady to that grass. Give it the shade. Shady, shady. Shady grass. Sometimes it's good to be shady. It's certainly always fun to be shady.
Yes.
I like to be shady. I'm putting out some more green because I ran out. They look green. I have like one squirt of paint that I do now. And I'm putting my yellow way off the picture frame.
Nope, yep, definitely off the picture frame.
Good job, me.
I was looking to see if I could adjust it. Nope.
So
This
what
was
I'm
a
doing
single
here, kind
camera.
of off the picture frame, is making a very bright yellow orange. So the color is still in the yellow range on the color wheel, but it has enough red into it to be slightly orange. And I will use that in some of the tops of the grass to create that kind of highlighted fresh growth color, which I really like. So I have to go to the website to get these videos and then click on the YouTube link. Is there an easier way I don't know about? So for patron videos, yeah, you have a dashboard. I think Pauline made a really nice instruction sheet on how to get there, but you go to your dashboard and the list of your projects is there. And so your link to your Zoom is there, your link to your upcoming videos is there, and your link to things that you can watch on replay is there. Without the link, there is no way to find it because they're only visible to those who have the link. And so that is the privilege that you pay for, is to have access to the link, and others cannot have access to the link.
There's secret links.
There's secret links. That's what we did. Oh, I'm subscribed to YouTube, and I didn't know there was a channel specifically for patrons. How do I subscribe to it? You can subscribe. I'll put it in the group. I'll just put the channel in the group, and you can go there and subscribe to it. Here's the only reason, the benefit of subscribing to the Art Sherpa retreat is then it's easier to find.
Right.
Right? It would be easier to find.
But even if you
Didn't-
found, there wouldn't even necessarily be something there to find.
Yeah. So you don't even have to worry about it. You can if you'd like to.
It's not necessary at all because the links will all be put in your dashboard. But if you're interested in knowing where they're at and seeing what else we have up there, it's totally cool.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of nonsense up there where pianos and paintings and reverse image. It was very funny. We took a little bit of green and we added it to that yellow-orange mixture and then some white. And we're just hitting the tops of the grass. On some of the blades, I'm making the little sort of foxtail effect where you do the little strokes up and kind of craft a foxtail. I don't know if John can zoom in. At some point, I think I'm about to do another foxtail because I added some more cad red to my, I am about to do one. So maybe pause there and we can go in and zoom in a little. We'll see if we can digitally zoom in. Okay.
We can do this.
Is there going to be more performance art in the retreat? I don't know, Patty. I paint from like all day. Linda will even say, and John edits all day. I don't know if we're gonna. If we like it creatively, we're honestly we're working on a music video one right now
Mm-hmm.
that we're really into. Sometimes you have to do things. We got to move over from the hand. I don't know if it's letting you see it,
It's hard.
but you can kind of see the little spikes here.
The
So,
new camera angle really helps.
Yeah, the new camera angle is going to make next month's patron painting so much easier to see. And thanks to you patrons, we have a new camera angle, so thank you for that. Whenever you see the new camera angle, you're like, I'm so glad I helped contribute to that camera angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mean to freak anybody out with mentioning the Patron channel, the Art Sherpa Retreat channel.
Oh no, it's totally okay.
So I'm sorry if I'm low key today. Everything is super okay. I was just up at 5 a.m. to, for the kids to catch the bus.
Yeah, today was the first early day.
And I'm teaching art when I want to be like under 10 blankets. I don't know who I am anymore. There's not enough coffee. But I am painting little tops of grass. And that really is, I do get into the cad red and into the yellow. And because there's green on my brush, when you mix orange and green together, you get brown. And we kind of covered that in our Patron color mixing video we just did. And that's another reason why mixing those primaries and seeing what colors you can create is very important. Where the blades of grass are closer, I'm brighter and more saturated in those colors, and that's because they're nearer to us. And so in atmospheric perspective, the most saturated colors will be the closest colors to us. And then the least saturated colors will be, far away. And subtly, you can see that we're a little less saturated at the river turn where the bank turns than we are at these closer trees. So that's a little thing that you can play with when you're painting from your own photographs, is the idea of desaturating things that are far away and making things that are closer brighter. I'm adding a highlight to the right side of the little foxtails of grass, the little seed pods. And that's because the way that we demonstrated the light in the grasses and the way we demonstrate it in the trees. So if you add something to any landscape painting, I'm making a very bright green now. I've added yellow to my already very light green. This is going to make a very, very, you can see it's a very yellow green. If you ever add something like, you're like, oh, I like this landscape, but I wish it had an extra flower bush. If you want to know how to light the flower bush, look at how you lit the rocks and trees and everything from your reference, and then just duplicate that into the new object that you're painting. So continuing with my yellow green here. Just going on yellow green. Oh, Trisha says she's not freaked out. She's homeschooling, has been waking about 5:30. I get so exhausted by the afternoon I can't go back to sleep after I wake up lately. Trisha, I get you. I get you. All the moms are up at the crack of dawn. I get you. I get you. I'm just worried, I'm just not explaining myself clearly because I too 5 a.m.
Where did
daughter.
You go?
Huh?
Where did you go on this?
Where did I go?
You were just gone there. You were just like,
I don't know. I probably was looking at it going, why is there so much grass on this hill? I bet you that's what I was thinking. I was probably like, why did I probably right about now? I'm like, why did I pick a painting with so much grass? How much grass do I want to paint?
And you just can't half grass it.
You can't half grass it. That needs to be a shirt. I just couldn't half grass it. We should have that as a metric of painting. Did you half grass it or did you fully grass it?
That's right.
Don't half grass your painting, man. Don't half grass it. Random jokes that you can tell in the regular community. They're like, half grass what? Trisha says, I love seeing all the different ways you are. Super excited to low key. It's so real. We all go through stuff and it's nice to know we're all together, especially with the new normal. I love that. And Linda's talking about Frenchie. She has a little dog, Frenchie, who lives with us, and he is hysterical. He's a breather. Yes. He's a deep breather, and he's super stealthy. And He follows you everywhere, and he's just small enough to never be seen. So like all the time you'll be a place and like you'll turn around, the dog is like there just huffing at you. What's that breathing noise? He's back. He really likes being in a big noisy house. I think it's fun for him. More of this light green goes on. So in this, if you're wondering, how do I know where to put those highlights? If you'll notice when I went through and kind of put in that first part of it, I put in an early blocking of this is where the light grass is and this is where the dark grass is. So as I'm going through in this very repetitive task, and this will happen a lot when you're doing a repetitive task in a painting, is that you will have actually laid a foundation in, and as long as you stay seated in that and follow along to your plan, you know, you can let yourself kind of fall into that rhythm, that grassy rhythm, where you don't half grass it. Katie Lyon says, yeah, baby wakes up between 3 and 3:30 and thinks it's time to play. Oh, babies. They're so not nice about that sleep thing. They're like, I waked up, babies. Oh no. I remember when my kids would be waked up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, don't be waked up. Go sleep, baby. And they're like, no, I'm waked up. Let's play. Waked up. Like, don't wake up, baby. Don't do it. Mommy's not waked up. Just adding more highlights of grass. Here we go in. More highlights of grass. We've sucked 16 people into the grass journey. Maybe more later because it goes through the community, through the Patron group. So going through.
You're committed to the wetlands at this point.
I really am. It's a good thing I didn't paint the hinterlands. Sorry. Yep.
There's more grass coming.
There's more grass. I've added white to my green, and look how bright that highlight is. I'm just living in this #1 detail brush, and you can see I'm popping a little patch of sunlight where I've tipped that. So you can do this thing where you create a little patch of sunlight that's coming through the grass blades. It's a little lighting trick that you can do, and it's lovely to do. And you'll see me move around, and sometimes that's about like, I've had enough of that area and I'm bored of you and I'm going to go to a new spot and do grass.
It's like groundhog grass.
Groundhog grass. Hi, baby. Welcome to the grass video. What would you like to do with your life today? I'm going to watch the grass grow.
It's like watching paint dry.
Grass grow.
It's a lot like watching paint dry.
It's exactly like watching paint dry and grass grow. I don't know why that made me feel super metal, but it did. Wayne's World, excellent.
War's latest album, Painting with the Sherpa. You almost lost your water.
I did. I almost spit it all over everything. There's a lot of technology here we don't want to have to fundraise to replace. Not spit on all the expensive electronics that make our show go. Continuing my upward grass strokes. Linda says it's beautiful grass. Donna says, yep, a little Southern comfort for the nerves and gums. Oh, hey, I haven't thought of that. I did a little Southern comfort for me, though. For waked up baby. I'm like, I pumped beforehand. It's okay. All right. I don't know why it was like thinking it was going to, because she said the word lick at 5 a.m. YouTube was like, I don't know about this comment. It's like, can I show it or do we need to hide it? Every once in a while, I don't know if it shows it on your end, but YouTube thinks something you say is really inappropriate. Not Patty specifically, but just general community. And they'll say something that YouTube's like, it's a keyword it's upset about. And so it's like, is this okay? And it gets all flashy and like, show or hide it. And I feel like I'm always afraid like I'm going to hit the wrong button and like hide some innocent comment that was not wrong. Not bad. I've added more white and more yellow, and I've decided I need a lot more of this super light green because guess what we're going to do now, guys?
More grass?
More grass.
Yep.
If you're hoping that at some point I secretly put a bunny in this painting, quail or a stick even. No, it's just this field. And really, I did this because, again, I think it can, when you go to paint green on green on green, it gets to be overwhelming, especially for new painters. And you can get frustrated and give up. So seeing this process and understanding the arduous tediousness of it helps you manage your expectations in relationship to the project. You're like, oh no, I'm going to be here for a while. Your partner comes by, what are you doing? I'm watching grass grow, man. Grass, grass. I'm growing it by hand. So this is me lighting the grass. And I'm creating different little structural leaves. And I think it's important to realize, like, in an area, an embankment of grass like this, there will be weird little weeds. There will be other bits of something. If you really want to have some more fun, you could add a few little flowers to this, like some little white bits of something, or little yellow flowers, or little blue. You're looking at me like you're having a deep thought.
After the show, I want to try something.
You want me to watch grass grow?
No. But I think I can do something in here. It would.
The grass is behind me growing infinitely and forever?
No.
I don't know. You have that weird look like you had a thought. John had a thought, guys.
I had a thought. I had a thought that I think will work, actually. Scarily enough, it's going to be like one of those things where you're going to go.
This video is so slow paced that John has begun producing another video.
I've been back here looking at the equipment, going,
He's just like, he didn't know this last segment. He's like, what's the last segment going to be? And I'm like, oh, it's short. We just paint the final hill. But I didn't mention, and it's going to be every blade of grass on that hill.
Except for the fact that I would have to reboot the broadcaster. I would try it right now.
You can see why I don't do this specifically on YouTube, because, like, I mean, it's like a great class, and I would, I would set this class up as something for people to take and to pay and come to a workshop on. But it's one of those things where it is what it is, right? And the pressure of being online in that public space is to speed it up or do something, but it's nice every once in a while to just see it happen in real time. Ooh, look at me. And again, I talked about brighter colors and enforcing stronger marks, and you can see that these blades up here are much stronger, and I'm highlighting some of them, and I'm casting some sunlight on them, and where they're bigger, they look more forward facing. Look at this beautiful painting. It really is just a gorgeous painting. I am misting what I did there is it was a mister, is just water. It wasn't any specialty product. It was just water. I have been here long enough because this, you can see my palette was already out. So it was the middle ground segment that we did. And then I finished off that palette for the grass. So for me, this has been however long, like 5 and something hours of painting in one sitting. I did this in one sitting.
Wow.
Yeah. I did the painting in one sitting. We've done this over 5 weeks, but I did it in a sitting.
Yeah, it's true you did.
I did. I just sat there. I had my Annette Marie book on tape going. No, actually, I think I was listening to the number 8 Monsters from the Land from all around Kong. Because I think I had finished. I just now got some new Annette Marie, so. Not that you guys care. It was just important to me. So I tend to put my book on tape and just sort of power paint. The green on green is helping me learn to paint. Orcs miniatures, actually. Yeah, it would actually help with orc miniatures. And Katie, bye-bye, baby bedtime. Bye-bye, Katie. Hugs to everybody. So, just blading the grass. Blading, making little foxy feathers. Foxy feathers. So weird. Even like watching myself paint, I'm like, this is very calming. This is calming.
Very calming.
Very calming. Very, very calming. I wonder, like, if we'd had this in like HD zoomed in and like you just play like really chill piano lounge music and watch the grass grow. So that would be a retreat video, Art Sherpa retreat video. That would be kind of experimental nonsense we would do. You have to, as an artist, every once in a while do something just to do it. Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you just got to do something to see if you can do it. You have to take risks. It's scary, though, to take risks. I'm adding this orange. There's green in my brush. I haven't rinsed it out, and that's kind of how I neutralize that bright color into enough of a brown to feel like the seed pods of grass. And I'm making sure several little patches in the field have this little bit of color, this little bit of texture. It'll help it feel like a naturally seeded field, because naturally seeded fields don't have like just Bermuda, which is the worst of all. But just, what is a good grass? Linda's like, I'm surprised Kevin has not reared his tentacle. Honestly, guys, in past days, Kevin would. You know what, John? I wonder if in group we should add tentacles to the lake.
That might not be a bad idea.
Just going up there, yeah. Start put things in the grass and make it not a green on green painting. I don't know. I'm not promising that. I'm saying that now. I can't. I would say it's a 60-40 chance of that happening in group. Depends on my mood. More yellow green. More yellow green. Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah, that's a good
grass.
That seems like one.
That seems like a nice grass.
Bluegrass.
I like the grass we have here in Pennsylvania. It's very soft and loamy.
Very green grass.
It's green. I don't know what type of grass it is. It is not crabgrass.
No.
Which is the important part. And it is minus fire ant. And I have to say, I know murder wasps were like a big deal, but honestly, we've dealt with fire ants for years, and it just, if you step in or sit in a mound of fire ants, it's a real experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like a real experience. Those are not friendly creatures. Somebody needs to do something about them. Here we go. Just adding and tipping and adding and tipping. Little bits of grass. And now I'm looking, going, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to commit to. And also, I just did a very thorough rinsing out of my brush. And every once in a while, I will get my detail brush in a water jar and go really vigorously pulling the paint out. Wipe it off on a towel so the hidden drop doesn't come and ruin my painting. And then get it back out there. Making blades of grass. I don't think anyone has talked so much about a patch of grass.
That's a lot of grass talk.
It's the most grass talk. What are you doing? Watching the Art Sherpa talk about grass? Mm-hmm. That could go a weird way, couldn't it? Donna just cracked up. Sharon's like, we have a lot of clover and the deer and rabbits love it. Yeah, clover is something you can add to the grass, little pops of pink and purple. Mm-hmm. BJ Gardner says painting grass is a surprisingly zen activity. It really is. Like, you know what we've never done and I want to do?
What's that?
I want to put that little blood pressure heart rate monitor and do something like this and to see if it impacts in a positive way my blood pressure and my heart rate. That'd be kind of interesting. Pseudo medical experimentation. Why not? The internet does all kinds of crazy things now. Somebody come out and say grapefruit juice cures everything. Somehow it doesn't get sued into oblivion. Very strange world. Very strange world. I'm adding highlight. And you can see we've got lots of little puffs of seed now. You get a real sense of the tall grass and the shaded grass, kind of the clumps and everything that have happened. I'm adding little dots, more little highlights to the seed pods. Definitely. More little, because I'm like, there's more. It's a really lush painting when you get up on it. Super lush. So it's just one of those things that, it takes what it takes. I always feel so bad. Like, people, how long is it going to take? I don't know. It takes what it takes. It takes a minute. How long to paint hyperrealism? This long, and I finally get some in.
There you go. Yay!
Aren't you glad I didn't do 6 hours of grass?
You did a good amount of grass.
I did. I think this is the amount of grass that I really felt like I wanted to take you guys through. And Sharon O'Brien says it is very soothing. And Linda says, grasshopper, you must wax on and wax off. Oh, by the way, they have done the sequel to The Karate Kid called Cobra Kai on Netflix. I'm one episode in. I'm not hating it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hating it.
I've heard this.
I mean, it's not Teenage Bounty Hunters good, but I'm not hating it. Okay, so this is our last episode of this month. We will start the next month's episode Thursday of this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be mostly Thursday this month, which with a different skip day. I think we have it on the calendar. I'm not sure. If we don't, we will shortly. I may or may not have given everybody the thumbnail they need to do that. It's going to be a long project as well. The Red Fox, I have no idea when the Red Queen, when we're going to be back on the easel. So hopefully by giving people copious amounts of extra.
Yep.
Free art education, everyone. I feel like I'm like the Wizard of Oz. Don't notice the lack of Red Queen behind the curtain. Paint all this grass. You'll never notice that there's no Red Queen. So, I mean, we got her in one last month, but it's just we're just not set up on the easel yet, and it's real crazy right now. There's just a lot happening. So I think as soon as things, moderator Cat Red says it is on the calendar. So yeah, check the calendar for those days and times. Everybody thank Cat Red for doing all that awesome work, because we wouldn't do it because I'm doing like stuff all day and I would not be able to get all the things done. I just think we'll get her back up. We'll let you guys know when she's coming back. I really love her and she's in a good spot, so I definitely want to finish her. By the way, fox fur is going to be a lot like grass. Mm-hmm. You guys will be like, oh boy, it's fur now. Fur. Same process. Like, for reals. Like, people are like, what's it like to paint a rock? Same as it is to paint a cloud, man. Same. I know it feels different, but same. Same. So now that you've done grass, you guys will rock the fur. It'll be in the hair and everything. It'll be like nothing. It'll be like, oh, I got this down. Like, snap. What a wonderful way to celebrate August. Ching. Done. Check the month. Done.
Yes.
Starting September 1st, we will drop. There's a really cute watercolor, little baby elephant for the patrons. It's for all levels of patron. I'll be dropping that link in the group. It'll be live tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel for everybody. And then we'll have Watercolor Wednesday, and then your first patron painting back. I think I'm painting every day this week.
Wow.
Every day. Plus during the day. So paint. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you and an easel really soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.